Hey, what's going on? Just thinking about the Moog Labyrinth video from yesterday. I watched Noir et Blanc's and Autumn Guard's show from yesterday, and Noir did a pretty good explanation of the Labyrinth. He basically said he bought it out of his own money, and he tried it out. It was one of the first times he had to watch Lou Pop's tutorial video in full to figure out how to use it, and he had to read the whole manual to figure out how to use it. And although he thinks that it being paired with the subharmonicon could produce some very interesting effects, the overall theme seemed to be it wasn't that fun of a synthesizer to use. So I kind of got that impression when I was looking at the videos by everybody, was that it wasn't really a super fun synthesizer to be playing around with, you know? It was more or less, it seemed that every video it seemed that it had to have something added to it. It either needed a modular setup added to it, it needed another synthesizer added to it, or it needed some effects pedals added to it. So I think overall, a day after the Moog Labyrinth has come out, I'm of two minds. I don't really understand what was who the target audience is besides modular. When I watched Noir's live stream yesterday, what's happening, everybody? If you're there, how's it going? Let me know what you think about the Moog Labyrinth yesterday that got released, because I watched the stream this morning while I was working or listened to it, and Noir et Blanc and Autumn Guard. Noir gave a good breakdown. He was like, some cool sounds come out of it. Very, very difficult to use. Definitely not for a beginner. You need to have a high understanding of synthesis to use it. And maybe that's who it's meant for, you know, maybe that's who Moog was targeting. I don't know. Modular for, what is it, $600? So for $600 more dollars, you can have a full Behringer System 55 setup if you want to go full modular. So I don't know. You can have a Hydrasynth Deluxe desktop for $699 for an extra $100 instead of the Labyrinth. I don't know. I don't really understand. So I just feel like Moog is at a little bit of a crossroads here, and I'm really excited for the Moog Muse. That 8-voice polysynth that they got in the works that should be coming out, according to everything that I'm hearing, in the fall. That could be the one that saves the company. Not that, I don't know, man. I'm a guy, what do I know? I'm just talking about synthesizers. So I don't really, don't take me too serious. But I don't know, man. Something about yesterday. I just wish some of the people who were bringing that product to you yesterday were a little more like Noir and a little more honest about who it was for. Because I heard a lot of people say, I'm going to go get this thing, I'm going to go get this thing. And I'm telling you right now, if you're one of these people who doesn't have a lot of synthesizers, this is surely Behringer. Yeah, Behringer will probably clone it. Yeah, they'll clone it. But I mean, we're all still waiting for Behringer to get that Spice out. They still haven't got the subharmonicon clone out for the Spice. Like the shirt? Yeah. So I don't know, we'll see. I think they're at a crossroads. I think that if they can get the Moog Muse out in the fall with everything working, the firmware great, the sounds great, with some good demos. I mean, yesterday was a total napalm of Labyrinth videos. There were so many, and I watched them all, and there was some cool stuff. Mylar Melodies did a cool one, but every Labyrinth in all the demos were paired up with other gear. Nobody really had a standalone video of just the Labyrinth, because when you have the Labyrinth playing with no effects on it, it doesn't sound very good, you know. But when you put effects on it, you throw some delay, slap some reverb on it, throw some chorus on it, you can really probably make that thing sound very, very cool. And it's got this weird thing where it's limited. Someone in one of the videos said, I think it was the harp lady, said that strength of the Labyrinth is in its randomness. I never knew that randomness was a strength. What's up, Prospo? What's up, 3D Robin? I like the form factor of the module. I think it's a smart idea. I think even if Moog were to make some bigger modules, that would be very cool. You know, those little knobs, like, wouldn't you like to have one of those modules probably the size of, I don't know, just a little bit bigger would be nice. Yeah, I'll also agree that the Edge format and the Crave format with the patch bays on the top, I don't like it because then you gotta, if you put it in a stack, you gotta patch them from out and out and out. So I don't really like that either. But I like the colors of the Crave and the Edge. Yeah, so I think Moog's at a crossroads, man. I think they need to make they need a real big showing with the Moog Muse, that 8-voice poly synth that they're coming with the third wave groove synthesis, the Polybrute 12, and I mean the Rev 2, the TE05, the Take 5. You know, I know they're all kind of in different areas, but once you get up around that price point, the OBX8, I mean, that's way too expensive. But if they can come out with the Moog Muse with some features that haven't been seen on other Moogs, that would be super interesting and it would be great. And I'm really, really, really hoping that the Moog Muse is blows people's minds. I want it to blow my mind. But I just think the Labyrinth, although, you know what? I thought about it after, and I did a video with Synthpunk yesterday, and we were going at the Labyrinth hard. You know, Synthpunk goes at Moog hard, and I kind of matched the energy. So, but today, after thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know if it's that bad of a product. It's kind of got its little lane. If you're into building your Moog sound studio, now you got the DFAM, you've got the Mother 32, you've got the Spectravox, and now you got the Labyrinth. So what's that, 5? Yeah, so now you got 5 units in your collection. So, you know, I can see. I know Traders to the Living, I think his name is, said he's picking up the Moog Labyrinth today after watching Noir's video, and he's really into it. He's into the setup, and a couple times I've thought about wanting to get that sound studio just because it looks cool, and when you run it through a bunch of effects, it's pretty wild. So I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Did all the videos yesterday excite you? Who did the best demo yesterday of the Labyrinth? We had Mylar Melodies, we had Loopop, we had Jorb, we had Harp Lady, we had Tefty from Tefty and Memes, we had Perfect Circuit, Sarabella Reed. We didn't have Elisa Belladonna, surprisingly. Not that I saw anyways. After watching your videos on both the Labyrinth and the Murmix, in the next few hours, I might be broke for a bit. Murmix got my vote. Oh man, I just read that beginning of the quote and I was like, oh man, you're hitting me with the hate bomb early this morning. Well, listen, don't get the Labyrinth. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't get the Labyrinth. I'd get the Murmix though. Go for the Murmix. I'd definitely go for the Murmix. What's up, Amar Official? Yeah, the Murmux is. I still think they should have called it the Mermaid. Would have been a way cooler name. Murmux is not a cool name. Should have been the Mermaid. But I also think that Moog wasted that name Labyrinth on that synthesizer. They should have had a 44, even a 37, 44 key synthesizer that is almost in the subsequent 37 form factor, and had patch bay in it and some big knobs. It would have been really cool to see that called the Labyrinth, I think. It's a wasted name, but I'm not going to hate on the Labyrinth today because I think it is what it is, man. Some people like it, and if you've got a modular setup, from everything I gathered yesterday, the Labyrinth is meant to be paired with modular equipment, and it's meant to be paired up with effects pedals or effects through your DAW. And when you do that, and if you learn oh yeah, like the graphic for the Labyrinth. Did you guys check out my song I made called Space Whales. I made a song called Space Whales, which is like a little narrative story where I'm just live jamming and talking about some stuff. It's interesting. You should go check it out. It's like a 20-minute jam, so if you got the attention span to watch it, watch it. But I guess the other thing, I'm at a little crossroads with where I should take the next few steps with the channel. Any suggestions? Yeah, like I said, I don't want to hate. Like sometimes when I get fired up about products like that, like the Moog Muse, the Moog Labyrinth, I was really excited for it. And when it came out, I really wanted Moog. This is what I expected from Moog yesterday. I expected Moog to do their video and have one of the engineers or somebody with some charisma sit down with the Labyrinth and instead of just demoing it, talk about where it came from, where the concept came from, who it's actually for, and the whole idea behind the Labyrinth. That's what I was looking for, and then I was expecting them to drop a Moog Labyrinth in everybody's hand on the internet is what I thought was going to happen. And I wasn't really impressed, you know. But I don't want to be negative about it anymore. I want to be positive. Like I said, I get fired up when I'm disappointed. And if it was the first time you watching my channel, sometimes you might think that's negative, but I'm not negative, man. I'm probably one of the most positive. I'm probably the most positive person talking about synthesizers on all of YouTube, to be honest, in a real way, not just like a positive because someone sent me some gear and I got to be positive about it. I'm actually super fired up and I love talking about synthesizers. I love the community. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm just wondering where to go with some new ideas and some new things. I got different routes I'm thinking about taking the channel. I got some different ideas. I'm kind of doing a lot more live streams these days because I really enjoy interacting with the community, interacting with the chat. Is this stream clear too? Can you let me know if this stream is clear? Can you hear me? I got some earphones here. Oh yeah. Doing more live streams. Also trying to... I don't really know if I like demoing gear that much, to be honest with you. I'm not really, don't know if I enjoy demoing gear, and I don't really know if I enjoy having gear sent to me because it creates this weird little bit of, maybe I want to call it anxiousness, where, I don't know, it's a strange thing. I can understand how a lot of people who demo gear, yeah, I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm just trying to have a good time, trying to have fun. Trying to talk with you guys, get your opinions, joke around, bring some lightheartedness to the synthesizer community. I mean, if you follow the channel at all, I place a bunch of different characters. Like, you know, I'm a huge wrestling fan and a huge MMA fan, so I like the idea of characters coming in and out of the storylines. Sometimes they'll keep coming in, sometimes they might come once, like Paddy O'Reilly. And it's fun, you know, it makes it fun, you know, because there's only so much you can do talking about gear, although I do it a lot. But I wonder, I wouldn't mind having a few more chats with some more people and doing those YouTube live togethers. Like, you know, love to have some, I don't know if anyone will even come on. I don't know. I feel like sometimes that if you're too honest, people don't want to, yeah, if you're too honest, sometimes people don't want to be put in a position where they have to be honest, I guess, you know, where, like, for example, when Sonic State was doing their stream the other day, yeah, so when Sonic State was doing their stream, they had Roger Lynn on, and honest to God, the only question I wanted answered from Roger Lynn, who's an absolute legend, was, and maybe I'll write him and say, Roger, will you come on my show, man? Because I really want to talk to you about Behringer and the LN drum clone, and because I really just love your opinion on it, and I'd love to go over the story of the Lynn drum and talk about the history of the Lynn drum and do a whole history of the Lynn drum thing and where it came about and the pitfalls that came in and out of it. But also, you know, what do you think about the LN drum coming, you know? And a lot of people think I'm crazy, but I think Roger Lynn is working with Behringer, and he's got an NDA signed, and he doesn't want his name associated with it, but he's honored and probably getting paid to be a consultant on the Lynn drum. That's what I personally think. I don't know. He's just been too quiet about it, if you ask me. I mean, if I made a product that was probably one of the most special things I ever made, although he might think the Linstrument is his most special product. If I made a product right now today, and 20, 30 years later, the product was kind of like, you could only pick it up used for a lot of money, and a company came along and they were going to clone this product and reproduce it and maybe even make it better. If I was that company, I would go to the original creator, which would be Roger, and I would sit down with Roger and I would say, Roger, we got this idea, this is what we want to do. Are you interested in consulting on this? Because we absolutely love it, and we want to bring the best representation of your drum machine, which everybody absolutely loves, to the market, and it will be an absolute honor if you would work on this project with us in tandem. And because Behringer's such a toxic brand for a lot of these people don't want their names associated with it, who are in the, I don't know, let's call it in the elite echelons of the community. There's only a few people that'll even touch it anymore. I would probably say I'd love to work on it, but can we do this as like a silent consultation where, I'm not connected to it, but I'd love to work on it. Maybe someday in the future we can release it coming out. But right now, I don't want to get any flack from the synthesizer community or sponsors or this, that, and the other, advertisers or whatever you're working with. I think that's what's going on. I don't know. It's just a hunch, but Roger's been so quiet about it. Nobody will ask him about it. I just don't understand why Sonic State wouldn't ask him that question the other day. Unless before the show he said, guys, don't bring up Behringer. I'm working with Behringer. I don't want to bring it up on the show because I don't want to really get into that topic. Or he was like, I'm so annoyed with Behringer. I want to keep the show positive. I don't want to talk about the Lynn drum clone. Just don't bring it up, please. But when old Nicky Bat shot my question down, he was like, we're not talking to Roger about Behringer today. I'm like, that's the only question I wanted to know. It literally, I wonder if I write him on his channel if he'll answer back and say, I don't know. It's just too quiet. It's weird. So yeah, I'd like to get Vulture Culture on the show. I love Vulture Culture. And I'd also just like to get some of the people in the community on. We can have a chat. Hayes wrote me the other day and he wants to have a chat and do a YouTube live together, so that'd be cool. So I like doing these live things. I like doing the conversations. Some people were like, you only should have people on your channel who you agree with and all that stuff. I don't agree with that. I think it's interesting to have open debates on the channel about different gear. And me and Synthpunk yesterday we were miles apart when it comes to he thinks less is more, and you should slim down your setup to absolutely nothing where you only have a couple synthesizers in your setup. He thinks less is more. I'm on the total opposite of the spectrum. I think you should build the biggest spaceship you possibly can. What's up, Prussia? Build the biggest spaceship you can, and if a synthesizer perks your curiosity and excites you, I think you should find means to get it. And I don't ever think you should go into debt with anything. So if you don't got the money, you don't buy it. But if you want something, find a way to make some extra money and get it, and be proud of it, and don't feel guilty. Because a lot of these guys, it seems like they build up their setups. Like, look at Echo Craft from the podcast the other night. What's going on? Yeah, from the podcast the other night. He did a studio tour, and it was just heartwarming to me to see all of the gear that he's accumulated over time. And I think a lot of people get guilt because this stuff's expensive. So, you feel bad that you spent money on something that is for a hobby, especially if you're not a professional musician. Didn't I meet you at the... No, bro, I don't go to those demon dens. One thing I'm anti is those kind of clubs, and I think it's dark and evil. So if I were you, I would stay out of them. Big time. Got any questions before I head to work? Yeah, so the only question I have for Roger Lynn was, And the question was not negatively phrased. It was, are you excited about Behringer's Lindrum clone? Does it excite you? Are you looking forward to seeing how close they can get this to your original product? You know? Smack the like button. Yeah. Well, yeah, so some new directions we're trying to go here. Do you have a hamster? No, I don't got a hamster. Looking at getting a couple dogs soon, though. Don't got a hamster. I want to get a couple big guard dogs, Rottweilers, to protect the missus when I'm at work. That's pretty funny. Brady gravy. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that's funny. Yeah, so if you, I mean, are you a billionaire? I plead the fifth. Billionaire in here. In here. I kind of look at money a little bit different than most people. I try not to focus on it too much. If you want to know something crazy, I don't even know how much money I even make. I never look at it, you know, ever. Sometimes if I think I deserve more, then I'll go ask for more. And then if they say no, they say no. And sometimes a lot of times they just say yes. I'll be like, I think I deserve more. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I do think I deserve more. And they're like, okay, we'll give you some more. That's how it works. There's a rule that if you don't ask, you shall not receive. Ableton Push, Akai Force, could you get into a big central sequence? I like the Akai Force. I don't really use DAWs. I use all hardware jams. If you go watch my live jam from yesterday, I put it up. It's called Space Whales. I think it's the last video I posted. I'm 1,000 years old. I'm older than you could even possibly imagine. Put it that way. Yeah. So Space Whale. So the way I set my live jams up is I use one sequence, one keyboard or synthesizer as the brain. I run a sequence through that and I MIDI it out to 3 different keyboards. And then that triggers all the notes in there on different presets, so it creates this soundscape. And then I'll sometimes change the time signature on the sequences or transpose it up or down, the octaves. And I do got an MPC at the house, but I'm getting rid of it because I don't like the menu diving and I don't like the workflow of the MPC. I tried it, but I don't like it. So I'm getting rid of the MPC. I like fast, quick, and I guess you'd have to go back and watch Macro Dose. Go back and watch some of my live jams. If you go in the video section and click oldest, you can go watch a bunch of my live jams. That's basically how I make music. Hey man, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate it. Hey, appreciate it, man. Yeah, so the MPC is not for me. The Akai Force might be more for me, but I think maybe even something like the Squarp Hapax, however you say that, might be more in line with what I'm doing. But I also just ordered the... What's up, Bang Mateo? Yeah, I don't want one of those Cane Corso dogs, but like a nice big Rottweiler, or we used to have a Rottweiler German Shepherd, or my wife did, Rottweiler German Shepherd combo. It was an awesome dog, but had bad back legs because of the German Shepherd. Anybody try the Squarp? You check out Mr. Tuna's setup. He powers his whole setup with the Squarp, and he's got everything MIDI'd into everything. He's probably one of the greatest live loopers on YouTube by far. Actually, I think he's the best, to be honest. Go to Mr. Tuna and check out some of his live looping jams, man. They're amazing. Him and his buddy, I can't remember his name, but yeah, absolutely amazing jams. Super cool. 100% believe in God, my brother. 100% believe in God. And I believe in a higher power for sure, and I believe in good and evil, and I think that at the moment there's an ultimate battle between good and evil going on right now, in front of us, above us, and all around us. So, and I know what team I'm on. I think Bang Mateo, you and John need to make up. And John, if you sent Bang Mateo a lemon synthesizer, and it's true, just send him some money and clear that karmic debt. If you didn't, and Bang, you're making it up. Either way, not my fight, not my problem. Yeah, the Oxy one is pretty cool little sequencer as well. The Hermod isn't the Hermod the Hapax, the Square Up Hermod? Is that the Hapax one for modular? Yeah, the Noodler, the NDLR, I heard about that. That's cool. Thanks, Bang. Appreciate that. I think I am the brain of the setup. I don't need a brain for the setup. I agree. Well, yeah, just put a bookend on it because I got to get to work. I'm really excited for the I'm not excited for the Moog Labyrinth, but I do understand that after listening to some other people's comments, I understand how it's intriguing, especially for someone who's curious about modular, to get a $600 little box that gives you these modular feels. Definitely, I can see that how it excites you, but I think it's just for the sound studio people, you know? It's just like a collector's item to acquire, kind of like the Live in series by Sonicware. What's up, Weedern? Just having a coffee here before I head out to round 2 of work. I just finished work 3:30 to 7. Now I'm just having a little coffee, and then I work, go back and I'll work 8 to 3:30. I'm from Canada, from Newfoundland, Canada, but I live in America at the moment, and I love America. Greatest country in the world, but also the craziest country in the world. America is the wild, wild west in every sense of the word. It's absolutely out of control here in the best ways you could possibly imagine, and it's out of control here in the worst ways you can possibly imagine. But I'll tell you one thing, man. If you want to go for it, this is the place to be. What else you guys got? You got anything else? I got 5 more minutes. Any other questions? You want to check out the shop? So what I like, his music and his thumbnails are very funny. Whose thumbnails? Oh, Thailand. Thailand. If I could pick one place to retire, it would be Thailand. I've been to Thailand probably six or 7 times. And for long periods of time, for months, training Muay Thai in Thailand. And I lived in South Korea for 10 years. I was a teacher in South Korea for 7 years, and then I had a business there for 3 years. Myself and a British guy, we owned a private school in South Korea. And then we sold the private school, and then I met my wife there, and then she brought me back to America. I just used the Op6, the Korg Op6, to control my sequences. Love you too, brother. Yeah, I used the Korg Op6 to control all my gear. Like I said, go watch the video from yesterday. The Korg Op6 is sequencing everything. And then I got the Mono Poly and the Hydra Synth. Oh, Chiang Mai is amazing. The Hydra Synth are like freeform, so I can noodle on those. And I can also noodle over the top of any of those synthesizers while the sequences are playing, because the Op6, I think, has got 32 voices. The Wave State's got 84 voices or something. The Mod Wave's got probably 50-something voices. I can't even remember, but there's enough voices where you can run sequences and also noodle on top of the sequence. You know, where there's not any voice stealing, I think it's called. So, no DAW, I don't use a DAW, no. I just record my videos into OBS. I live stream the jam. I hit record, live stream, and jam. Then when the jam's done, I detach the audio from the video, and then I save the audio as a WAV file. That's what I do. And sometimes I might throw it into GarageBand. That's the only DAW I've ever used because that's what came with the Apple. I throw it in GarageBand, then I'll cut out the beginning, the end. So like if I'm introducing the song, just so it makes a sound. So that's what I meant by sequencer. Yeah, so I use sequencer is the OP6, Korg OP6. Pretty much. Well, yeah, so I got 2 new pieces of equipment coming. I have the Sonicware Live and Ambient Zero coming. That should be shipped to me, I think, at the end of the month. I think I'm in the second batch. And I'm also this weekend ordering the Oberheim TE-05. And that will be my first real product from the Mount Rushmore of synth people, right? So I don't have any Moogs, I don't have any sequentials, I don't have any Oberheims, I don't have any old school ones, you know, whoever else you want to throw in there. I got no Chris Huggett's, I got no Novations. So this will be my first venture into the land. I've only used GarageBand, right? I started like messing around with GarageBand, just making like weird little things in there to try to figure out what music even is. I only started playing synthesizers in 20, yeah. So I went back to Newfoundland and my buddy gave me a Arturia Micro Brute, and I brought it back to America. Brought it back to America, and then when the Great Pause happened, you know, the biggest scam to ever hit planet Earth, when that happened, I had some time, so I started messing around with the Micro Brute and 3 delay pedals, and then I got hooked, and then I got into synthesizer, and then I just pretty much started live jamming nonstop to immerse myself in it, reading about synths. Then I created this channel talking about synths. Then I started talking to other people about synths. So I just tried to immerse myself and catch up as quick as possible to this whole scene. A lot of people, when they watch this stuff, they think like, I don't know what they expect me to know. They expect me to, I don't know if they think that I should like I should know how to like make a synthesizer from scratch and every component, that and the other. That's not the deal. I'm not the guy. I'm just the guy who really enjoys how it feels to be surrounded by a bunch of frequencies and different sonic what do you want to call it? Different sonic baths. I like bathing in sound, and it makes me feel good and takes me away, and that's why I kind of do my music as like a narrative where I tell stories and play around, and it's like a different kind of thing rather than make songs. I make songs too, but they're cheesy. People think they're cringy, but whatever. What's up, No Lake? Just catch me, man. I gotta take off. I'm just finishing up the coffee here, and I gotta go back to work. Everybody check out No Lake's channel. He's one of the first people that I ever started watching on YouTube with synthesizers. He's the wizard of the Novation Summit, and he's a great guy, got a great channel, got amazing music, and definitely go check out No Lake's channel. Super legend, man. And he's been supporting me since day one, so I love the guy, even though I've never met him. Still waiting for my TO. Yeah, I heard the TO5 ain't coming till August. Yeah, you're a wizard, man. Because you know the world's full of wizard and warlocks, man, and you're a wizard. And we know who the warlocks are, don't we? All right, people, I got to go to work, so you guys take it easy. Thanks for the stream. Thanks for checking it out. If you're new here, go check out my channel. Check out some of the songs I got in the videos. I got about 250 videos and live streams that I did way back in the day, and now I just kind of intermix a little bit of everything. Comedy, synth, music, whatever. All right, so you guys take it easy.